We started speaking last time with Rabbi Pinchas Ben Yair. He had the 12 attributes that a person has to go from Torah to being careful, to being diligent. We spoke about all of them. So we have over here from Torah to Zihirut, to Zirizut, to Nikiyut, to Pirishut, etc. Rabotai. So today we actually want to try to see how the Maharshas, he actually tries to take this Rabbi Pinchas Ben Yair and he actually wants to implement it into our daily lives. So he begins like this, and he says like this: Umuna Rabbi Pinchas Ben Yair et hamadrigot lefi seder maaseh hayom shel adam mitchilat kumo baboker ad shechvo balayla. Rabbi Pinchas Ben Yair, he made these attributes, these 12 attributes, from the beginning of the day, till we go to sleep. And again, Torah, of course, Rabotai, first a person has to learn Torah. So he says over here like this, guys. Shemitoch zihirut shadam nizhar b'asharot umitzot haTorah, from the fact that a person is careful with the warnings and the mitzvot of the Torah, hu balidei zirizut b'tchilat hayom ba'amd baboker, he comes to being diligent or quick in the beginning of the day when he wakes up in the morning. So again, very quick. So we have over here Torah, then we have zihirut. So once a person learns Torah, he's concerned with the laws of the Torah. He's going to be careful in them. But when a person is careful, he's going to move to the next one, which is zirizut, by being diligent and quick in the morning, by getting up. So he says, or he explains it like this. He says like this. He says, "Sheyakum bezirizut lo ye'etzel bikumo," that a person is going to be able to get up quickly, and he's not going to be lazy getting up. Ve'amar zirizut mevi lidenikiyut. The next one is from zirizut, from being diligent or quick, a person is going to be able to acquire nikiyut, which is cleanliness. So he explains over here, how does that happen? How does one come to cleanliness? Dehainu nikiyut aguf v'nitzat yadayim shacharit. Because a person is going to be able to cleanse his body by taking care of his bowels, number one, or number two, and he's going to be able to wash his hands in the morning. Ki ha'me'acher lakum b'shacharit mitoch shehu memcher acher kach lakum v'lelech lebeit haKnesset. Because guys, we all know that when a person wakes up late, he's not going to be able to cleanse himself very well. Also, he's not going to be able to wash his hands properly. Because if you take it like this, guys, if you take two scenarios, a person that wakes up 30 minutes or even an hour, which the Mishnah says, the best thing to do, a person should always get up an hour before davening, and he should try to remove the bowels, whether it be number one, number two. If certain people to go to the mikvah, which is a very good custom, but a person always prepare himself for davening, not just get up late and just attend it. Because at about time when a person gets up late to go to davening, he's not going to be able, for example, he has to take care of his needs, number two, he's not going to be able to go to the bathroom because he wants to daven, which there's a whole prohibition by itself, which I do not want to get into, that if a person has to go to the bathroom, he's not allowed to daven, like his brother and Simon Tzadik Bet Allah Aleph. In any event, Rabotai, so he says over here that from Zirizut, once we have Zirizut, you go to Nikiyut. Now from Nikiyut, we're going to move on to Pirishut, from abstaining from things. But over here, he says something very nice. Which type of abstaining from things? He says, V'amar Nikiyut mevi l'dei Pirishut. Sha'Pirishut hi tefillah, Rabotai. The Pirishut is tefillah. V'hi nikret ken al shem ha'pasuk v'kapay perusot ha'shamayim. And his head spread out towards heaven, Rabotai. So he explains over here, and he says like this. Let me just get it. He says, "Sheyeh adam parush mikol izkei b'shat tefilah." So let's put it like this, guys. Look how beautiful it goes. He explains that when a person reaches the level of pirishut, he should abstain from his worldly matters or all his business concerns at the time when he's davening Shemona Esrei. So look, guys, let's just go back really quick. When a person is able to learn Torah, he sees the importance of what it means to do mitzvot and to be careful in them, which leads us to zihirut. Once a person cares about them and he's careful in them, when it comes in the morning, it's going to be his priority to get up very fast in the morning. When you wake up early in the morning, you are able to clean your body. Basically, it's like a stepping stone. Once you're able to clean your body, then you are able to abstain your mind. You can be able to daven to Kadosh Baruch Hu with a clean mind. You can be able to abstain from other things and daven Shemona Esrei properly. After Pirishut Rabotai, we have after Pirishut we have Torah, but before we get there, he says, what's the importance of davening with a clean body? He says that the importance of davening with a clean body, because when a person davens with a clean body, he Because the person who davens with a clean body, his prayer is accepted and wanted before Kadosh Baruch Hu, may he be blessed. Like it says in Masechet Berachot, in Dat Vav Amur Aleph, Kol HaNefneh V'Notel Yadav. Anybody who takes care of his needs, and he washes his hands in the morning, Umanich Tefillin, he puts on Tefillin, V'Koreh Kriya Shema, and he recites the Kriya Shema, Umid and he davens, Ma'aleh Alav HaKatuv, Ki'ilu Bana Mizbech, V'Kriv Alav Korban. Rabotai, the Pasuk I didn't write as if he built a Mizbech, and as if he brought a Korban on that Mizbech, a sacrifice on that altar. So can you imagine, a person just by following these rules, Rabotai, what you are accomplishing every single day by bringing an altar, meaning by building an altar and bringing a Korban. So Kadosh Baruch when you're davening with a clean body. The next piece we speak about, Pirishut Mivi L'Dei Tohara. Right, so we have over here the Pirishut. After Pirishut, the person has to try to reach Tohara, purity. How does one do that, Rabotai? So he says like this. Ha'inu L'De'inu HaTorah, Rabotai. Person, the Tohara is, that means when a person is going to be able to learn Torah, Be'iyun in depth. Shetzarich Adam L'Taher Et Atzmo Kidei L'Lmod Torah, Rabotai. A person needs to be pure in order to be able to learn Torah. A person cannot have all the shtuyot in his mind and at the same time want to learn Torah, like we saw in the letter of the Stipler, that if a Ben Torah wants to succeed in becoming Ben Torah, his mind has to be free from anything and he has to only focus on Torah, like we actually posted one of these shurim before. So he says over here that shetzarich adam l'taher et atzmo kidei l'lmod Torah, kimo shekatuv yirat Hashem tohara, like it says that the fear of Hashem, it has to be tahor, it has to be pure. How do you, what means pure? So he says, Dahainu, shatefillah mivi oto l'idei limud Torah b'tohara. That the tefillah that you davened when your tefillah was clear of everything, of all the worldly concerns, that's going to be able to bring you to learning Torah with purity. Because once again, Rabotai, it's a stepping stone that you're actually building one on top of another, and it allows your day to flow smoothly. Pay attention, guys, whenever you wake up late, how your day is, and whenever you wake up early, how your day goes. After that, Rabotai, after a person is reached the level of Tohara, from Tohara we say, it brings a person to Kiddusha. Right? We say from Tohara, it brings a person to Kiddusha, to holiness. What does that mean? Because after a person is finished davening, how does he become Kadosh? How does he become holy? Dahainu Kiddusha hi ha-su'udah, Rabotai. What does that mean, Kiddusha? That means the su'udah, that means the meal. Shetzarich adam nitkadesh ba'achiloto, Rabotai. A person needs to sanctify himself with his food. Kimo shekatuv b'isur ma'achalot asurot, v'yitkadeshtem v'yitim kidoshim, that a person has to be kadosh, v'atorah shehu limud ha'torah b'tohara, Rabotai. The tahor, the purity is that a person is able to learn the Torah in purity. He mivi l'dei kiddusha. So once again, when a person is able to daven with a clear mind, Shemona Esrei, that's going to be able to allow him to learn Torah in purity. Once a person is able to learn Torah in purity, that's going to bring him to Kiddusha, which is what? Meaning the eating of the food. Mishum shesu'udat Talmid Chacham, hi acher limud Torah b'sh'at ha'chamishit. Because the suda of the Talmid Chacham is only at the 5th hour after he learns. So we see once again read that you have a stepping stone that goes on how a person is able to become Kadosh. Rabotai, one of the things that they mentioned over here, how does a person know that if a Talmid Chacham or even a rabbi, a lot of times people want to know if this rabbi is holy or not, Rabotai, should you get a blessing from him or not? So I heard from different rabbis the same Peshat. I'm not going to quote every name, it's not coming from me, it's coming from somebody else. He says, how does one know if the rabbi is Kadosh or not? So we say that on Shabbat, in order for a person to make Kiddush, we say, En Kiddush, Ele b'makom Su'udah. That a person, when he does the Kiddush on the wine, it only has to be done in a place of Su'udah. So they want to play on the words and they want to say, En Kadosh, Ele b'makom Su'udah, meaning that how do you know if a person is Kadosh, if he's holy or not? That's only in place of Su'udah. Look at the way he eats, Rabotai. Is he grabbing things or is he allowing other people to take? And only does he take, Rabotai? That's how you could know if a person is holy or not. So we see over here that after a person becomes, when he's tahor, meaning by learning Torah, that's going to bring him to Kiddusha, meaning the meal after he already learned Torah. Then Rabbi Pinchas ben Yair says, Kiddusha mivi l'dei anava. Rabotai, very nice. This is very beautiful. He says like over here. We're getting over here to the seventh one, Kedusha. Kedusha brings one to anava, to humbleness. Rabotai, look how it flows, guys. Once you already ate in the morning your meal, now he says it's going to bring a person to anava. What does that mean? Shi'eh adam noach labriot. Rabotai, very important. A person has to be pleasant. He has to be easygoing with other people. After a person ate, which was the kadosh part, now he's going to go and he's going to deal with them. It has to be b'derech eretz, rabotai. Why? Why is it right after the eating? Because guys, whenever we eat, a lot of times a person when he eats, he feels haughty. So a person can it can overcome him. The food can overcome him. Now he's going to not be with derech eretz with other people. So he tells you here that because food can make a person haughty, so that's what we tell you have to be acting with other people b'derech eretz. And then he concludes and he says, Mikom makom, mi shemikadesh et atzmo min hamotorot yeh nichne v'lo yitga'eh. How does one become an anav, rabotai? How does one become humble? Very simply says, anybody's able to sanctify himself from even the excessive things in this world, rabotai, he will become submissive and he's not going to have ga'avah, chas v'shalom. He's going to be anav. But again, we see that when it follows after the meal. After the anava, we have Yirat Chet. Ve'amar anava mevi l'dei Yirat Chet. Right now, over here, we said, once a person reaches anava, after a person eats, he can always chas v'shalom become hori. So we tell you, remember, Rabotai, you have to try to refrain from the excessive things, from the extra pleasures. Rabotai, I give you an example. A lot of times you have a person, he eats. Again, guys, you can eat as much as you want. Is there a prohibition? Not really. But how much can a person eat, Rabotai? He has to have a limit. You ate, try to leave a little bit behind to try to have self-restraint, because that's going to bring you to real anava. After you come to anava, we say a person has to go to Yirat Chet, fear of sin. So he explains over here, he says, Ve'amar anava mivil de Yirat Chet, shemitoch anava shu nichna lefnei bor'o, because when a person is humble, he becomes submissive before Kadosh Baruch Hu bol lidei Yirat Chet. A person who does not have anava, he could never be afraid of sin, rabotai. I don't want to say never, but a person who's always arrogant, he's more, or better yet, the better word would be, a person who has chutzpah and who does not have busha, who does not have shame, rabotai, that person is likely more to sin than a person who has shame. So one more time, a person who has chutzpah is likely more to sin than a person who has shame. A person who has shame, rabotai, he's more prone to try to be humble. Again, anybody could be humble, but I'm just trying to bring out a point over here that our midot, our character traits, they do play a big role. So when a person is an ana, when he's humble to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, once you already give in to Hashem, that's going to bring you to the fear of sin. Dahainu, what does that mean? How are you going to be afraid of sin? Throughout the day when you're going to do business with your friends, and other actions or other things that you're going to do between you and Hashem Himself, you're going to be afraid from sinning. You're not going to sin. Why? Because Rabotai, once you are vulnerable to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, automatically you are concerned for what He wants. So before you're going to do something, you're going to ask yourself a question. What does Hashem want from me? Does He want me to do X, Y, and Z? Yes or no? No matter what the pressure will be, a person is not going to fall. Why? Because you already gave yourself in to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You're already an anav. After that we say, Ve'amar chasidut. Oh, I skipped one, Michilam. From after Yirat Chet we have Mivil de Chasidut. After a person has fear of heaven, he goes to Chasidut piety. So he explains over here, Ve'amar Yirat Chet Mivil de Chasidut. Dahainu she'achar kol ha'masim. That means to say after all the actions Sha'asab bayom that a person did throughout the day, Ve'alam madrega l'madrega, he went up from one level to the next level. Hareihu bo l'dargat ha'chasidut rabotai. He came to the level of chasidut. When you did all these levels that we had just pointed, now you went from one level to the next. You came to the level of chasidut. Shehi ma'alah ha'elyonah ha'mivu l'dei ruach hakodesh. That is the highest level that's going to bring a person to ruach hakodesh. The chasidut of here is what? She'achar kol ha'masim she'nizkeruhu machshev Im nafsho balayla im kol masav shasa bayom hen lizchut hen lechovat v'chen shehu mochel lechol mi shepashel lenegdo bayom. Rabotai, you see over here we have this chassidut. What's real chassidut? He wants to tell you that before a person goes to sleep, he should take into the cheshbon, into the calculation of his deeds, whether it was good, whether it was bad, and he should try to go ahead and he should try to forgive everybody that offended him